Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody is ready for a cool Sunday show. Give me your thumbs up if everything is under control on your end and you can hear me okay, and we'll get started. All right. I don't know if this is actually a good sound. I'm playing around with some effects on my MG30, and this is a Pete Thorne raw BE sound that I have plugged in here, but it's I'm playing it really low. Nice and fat. I like it a lot. Pete dialed in a nice tone there. Nice and crunchy. And chewy too. So how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. All right. So Sunday, today's Super Bowl Sunday. Guys, who's into the Super Bowl here? Anybody? Is anybody going to be spending the time, throwing some kind of a Super Bowl party or something like that tonight with some friends? I know that a lot of people will be definitely glued to the TV today. I'm gonna admit I'm not a super football fan. So, but when it comes time to Super Bowl, everybody gets into it, right? I think it's gonna be between the LA Rams and Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. So I think there'll be some partying tonight for sure somewhere. Kevin says the wife is a Rams fan, so there you go. And how about you, Kevin? Are you? It's easier when both sides of the relationship are rooting for the same team, but I have to admit it makes it a lot more interesting when you're rooting for different teams. You just have to be careful because you might end up in the doghouse depending on who wins. Oh my God. Super Bowl. House of Twang says no Super Bowl for our house. Okay. Ian, nice to see you. CFL, House of Twine says CFL. Yeah, CFL, not exactly the same. So I'm playing this guitar today. I pulled it out of the rack. I haven't played this one in a while. This is the one I built, the purple Telecaster that I built from scratch with the awesome pine 100-year-old pine body. Came out really nice. Sounds really good. I don't play it often enough. I actually pulled it out today because I wanted to see whether or not the dry air and the swings in temperature over here have actually affected the neck at all. And I'm surprised to say that it's actually pretty good. It's the relief is not bad. It might have I might have lost a little bit of relief, so I might have to actually add a little bit more. Just to let you know, the temperature has been swinging here. Yesterday it was well above zero. Well above zero for Canada. Well above zero is like 2 or 3 degrees above zero, and today dropped down to minus 20 again. So from one day to another, we're really definitely swinging all over the place when it comes to temperature. So the guitars take a beating when it comes to that. Gospel of Mark says, I'm rooting for the Rams because they have a player from my hometown high school on their team. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Who's the player? Out of curiosity. That's pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty good when you have friends, my wife, somebody in her family used to be a professional football player in the CFL. That was a long time ago. He's retired now. Quicksilver says, I just realized that the Vega Trem logo is a copy of the Ray-Ban logo. Yeah, that's true. Actually, you're right. It is very similar, isn't it? I guess they creatively borrowed the logo. Actually, that reminds me, I'm wearing the t-shirt today because actually I wanted a reminder for myself. I still have to install the Vega Trem that I have. I got a black version of the Vega Trem. I have the chrome version and I have the black version, and I've been meaning to install it in a guitar, and I've been flip-flopping as to which one I'm going to end up installing it in. and I just wanted to give myself a visual reminder this morning to like jar the memory, and maybe I can get off my ass install that in a guitar. I was thinking about installing it into my black Kramer because I installed the chrome one in there, and because the guitar is completely black, I thought it would be cool to perhaps put it in there and make like a stealth model out of that one, and then take the chrome one and put it in another guitar. But then it would be double the work. So I'm gonna do it. Just a question of when. But that's a good eyes, Quicksilver. I'm glad you caught that. Kevin says, I just bought the pink flow pedal from Jam Pedals. Okay, I don't know that one, Kevin. Is that supposed to be a Pink Floyd-ish type of pedal, or something similar to that? Give me a little bit of information on that, please. I'm not familiar with it too well. And let me know how much you paid it and whether or not you like it. I'm always looking for interesting new pedals, that's for sure. I think we all are, so I think we would all appreciate any insight on some really cool pedals. BC Rich says 581 says, I bet on the Jaguars. Is that a bad idea? we don't we can't, you know, encourage people to bet around here, unfortunately. I think the noise gate's kicking in a little bit too early when I put it down on the volume. It's kind of choking out the... Yeah, it chokes out the sustain. You can hear it kind of... but it's okay. I usually play high gain anyways. So I want to say good morning to who's here, and then we'll get into the questions right away. I want to make sure that you guys know that don't delay on the questions. Please ask them from the get-go, because you know, an hour goes by really quick, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about and cover today. There's already 52 people here today. I think everybody's interested in the big draw, right? So that's one of the things that I want to mention, that we will be drawing for the prize, which is the NUX MG 300 that I showed about a week ago now. And I mentioned to everyone that you all stand a chance to win that really cool multi-effects unit. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel, make sure you comment and tell us why you want to win the prize. And at the same time, you have to give us a thumbs up on the video. So if you've already done that, you're automatically in the draw. If you haven't done it already, you still have time. I'm going to draw towards the middle-ish of the video. So whoever hasn't already done so, you still have time during this show to actually enter yourself in the draw. And as I mentioned, I want the winner to be here today. So I'm going to be announcing the winner here today during the show, and if you're not here, you're out of luck. So make sure, you know, we want to give appreciation to the guys that are here all the time. And I know there's a lot of familiar faces here, and I appreciate you guys tuning in to Addicted to Gear. Now, if you guys are new, that doesn't give you any less love. We definitely appreciate the newcomers that are going to be tuning into the show, and hopefully that little draw has encouraged a couple of new people to actually check out the Sunday show. We definitely want to see more people here. And if you guys don't know what we're all about, basically Addicted to Gear is about gear, as you can see behind me. You know, guitars all over the place, amps and stuff like that, and pedals. And so we talk about gear here on a regular basis. I produce video reviews on my channel, Addicted to Gear, on all of this cool stuff. And, you know, I encourage everybody that tunes in, either the live shows or even just watches the video, to comment on the videos and give me some feedback, because that's why I do this crazy stuff that I do. So that's what we're all about. So welcome to everyone that's here today. Let's just say a quick hello to the guys that are in the house. So Alan is here. Alan, always an early riser. Paul, always here too, like consecutively, hasn't missed a show. Appreciate you guys being here. Cushman, Hobo Bob, nice to see you, buddy. Paul. APK 1967, hi from Dublin, Ireland. Nice to see you here, buddy. It's me, Don P. Good morning. Gospel of Mark. Cushman, New York City. Wayne McDonald. Let's see here. Bruce Brooks. Chad King. Keith is here as well. If I skip over you guys, please forgive me. There's quite a few of you here this morning. Presley, California Customs. Hey, I got your email, Presley. Thank you for the invite. I would love to, eventually make my way down. For sure. Absolutely. Christian, nice to see you, buddy. Kevin, nice to see you from Hatfield. I said Hartfield. I'm thinking Hart because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. We got to talk about that a little bit later. Vanai, good morning. Cool Tunes Made Easy. Nice to see you, buddy. Stephen Hetrick, nice to see you. Ocean City. John D, good morning. Oh man, so many people. Wayne McConnell, New Gear, a beautiful hand-carved 10-string charango. 10 strings. Wow. I have enough trouble just playing 6 strings. How do you do it, man? That's pretty cool. Congratulations on the New Gear acquisition. John Hunter, nice to see you, buddy. So, all right, I'm gonna, I'll say hi to everybody as we go and as I take your questions. Rico B is here from sunny Arizona. Randy's here as well. All right, cool. So let's get down to the questions. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit and let's see here. Rico's saying, when are you coming down to visit Arizona? 26 today. Actually, my wife just saw a beautiful ad, or I don't know if it was an article in the newspaper, talking about a really nice spa/hotel in Arizona. And she's like, yeah, we should definitely go. And I'm like, yeah. And I thought about you, Rico. I'm like, yeah, I got a friend in Arizona that always tells me the temperature every time. And makes me feel bad about it too. But no, 26 is beautiful. Yeah, definitely would want to come down in the wintertime. I'd love to move down to Arizona eventually, but I don't know if I'd be able to stand the heat in the summertime. I'm not used to the heat, man. I'm a winter guy here in Canada, so I can handle the cold, but I don't do well in the heat, unfortunately. Quicksilver says, do you ever play clean? I do from time to time. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get a clean patch for you. How's this? That clean enough? How's that? Is that cool? Is that clean? That's Pete T's 80s Clean. So that's another patch by Pete Thorne. So a nice clean sound for sure. That's for you, Quicksilver. So don't say I never play clean, man. Fat Philosopher put an order in for a Gretsch. So Fat Philosopher, man, I thought you were more of a metal player there. What's going on with the Gretches? Are you softening up now? Are you expanding your horizons, or has the Gretsch always been on the radar, just that you never had an opportunity to get one? What's the situation on that purple Squire there that you had ordered from Andertons? Any news? Any updates? I'm gonna scroll down, guys, because there's a lot of questions that have gone by already, and I'm way behind. And if I miss your questions up front, please just ask them again, okay? I'll work my way down and go back up. Yeah, too much reverb on that clean tone. Yeah, it does. I agree. Yeah, I do favor the crunch for sure. I can actually play around with the reverb a little bit here for you, and maybe take it out. If I take it out and if it's clean, this is... I don't know if you guys hear the ping pong delay. You hear that? Pretty cool. But I think the modulation, there's quite a bit of compression in this, but definitely if I take down the reverb, I took it out completely there, but if I bring down the level of the reverb on this sound, it'll sound much better. Yeah, it was kind of high. How's this? I don't know. It's more of an atmospheric type of sound. Lord and Paler's asking me, have you tried the new Epiphone SG Classic? No, I haven't. I'm interested in trying it though. The inspired by Epiphone stuff has really got me interested because I recently picked up a beautiful hummingbird. It's actually just there. You see it there, guys? I don't know. Right there. That's the hummingbird inspired by Epiphone, which I picked up recently. A beautiful guitar. And I wasn't really, the inspired by Epiphone stuff wasn't really hitting my radar and redlining anything in my radar. But after I tried this one, I'm like, wow, this is a great guitar. And now I'm interested in trying the other ones. I was not a huge Epiphone fan because I didn't really like the headstock. But now that they've changed the headstock with the inspired by line, I'm kind of interested. So, and I don't have any SGs. So I never bought an SG. So it's one of the missing elements in my collection. I've always felt like it would be nice to have one to kind of, have one of each. So maybe I will check it out. And eventually we'll see. Why not? Never say never, right? Chad's contemplating putting, let me see if the chat, okay, good, they fixed it. Yeah, the Ecamm Live, the software I use for this, for the shows, last week they were having an issue where the comments were actually going past the screen, which was a little glitch, but they made an update on that. Thankfully, they put out updates rather frequently, so that's pretty cool. So Chad says, I'm contemplating putting a P90 in the neck of my 2014 CV Classic Vibe Telecaster. The existing route can accommodate just... What's the rest of your question? How come I don't see the rest of your question? Oh, man. Wait, hold on a second. Let me just go back. Maybe I can see it here. Just what? You just ended it there, Chad. Yeah, that's the cool thing about some of the routes on these guitars. They do accommodate wider pickups. So if you don't want to go the regular Telecaster pickup route, you can put P90s in there. I wasn't sure if the route actually fit P90s, because P90s are a little bit of a different shape compared to regular humbuckers. So that, is always a little tricky thing. But yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be an interesting combination with P90s in a Telecaster. But I mean, P90s typically sound very Telecaster-ish to me anyways. I always say the P90s are like a Telecaster on steroids. So that could be a nice, interesting combination there. Andrew says, excuse me, is there such a thing as budget noiseless pickups? Good question. I haven't come across any budget ones. I mean, what do you consider budget now, Andrew? Is that like, because, that's very, a very personal thing. Like some people budget might be, $250. Others it might be $100. Not really sure. I know they have the blades, like the hot rails. They have knockoffs of the hot rails. There's a lot of other companies that make these knockoffs, which are not noiseless, but they're kind of like mini humbuckers. But as far as budget, just budget actual noiseless, I mean, I've tried the Area 51s, which... I don't know, they're not budget, but they're not extremely expensive either. So like stuff like that, is that what you mean? I don't really like budget, excuse me. I don't really like noiseless pickups. So I haven't tried all that many. I know that, Fender has their line of of noiseless pickups. You can always get a set of those on eBay used, you know. And of course, most of the pickup manufacturers have their version. The Area 51s, to me, they worked well in terms of cutting the noise, but I found they were lacking. There's just something to me about noiseless pickups I don't like, because it seems like they compromise the noiseless aspect by taking out some of the fullness of the pickup, in my opinion. So I kind of stayed away. I don't mind the noise, honestly. Like I always say, guys, once the drummer kicks in, what's the difference, right? I mean, if you're doing a recording, I get it. You know, you want to try and have the cleanest signal you can. But if you are a little bit creative with your noise gate, you know, noise gate filtering and stuff, you could pretty much eliminate a lot of that noise. And especially if you have clean power, because sometimes what causes a lot of the noise on your pickups, 60 cycle hum and all that, is dirty noise in your actual house or the location that you're in. Sometimes the lighting could affect it, and sometimes when you're in a power bar and you have a bunch of other items that are plugged into the same power bar, it'll definitely cause noise. There are some products out there that are supposed to be able to filter out and give you a clean signal in terms of power. That helps as well. By the way, guys, before we get too far into the show, I just want to say that there is the discount code right over here. This discount code right there, ATG 102, because it's show number 102. You get a 10% discount if you're interested in supporting the channel and you want to do it that way. You can get some cool swag and you know, put a sticker on your guitar case, or pick up a t-shirt or a cup or something like that. And you can use that discount code to get a discount right there. If you want to support the channel in other ways, we always are very appreciative of any super chats and whatnot, and it helps us, you know, sort of pay the bills and get the stuff that we need so that we can continue producing all the content for you guys. Jeff says, hey, did you see Shane got himself a supersonic? No, I didn't see that. No. Unfortunately, I haven't had too much free time to catch other people's shows. I usually watch Shane's show, In the Blues. If you guys are interested, check him out. Cool dude. I think he actually demoed the supersonic way back. If you go back in his early videos, I'm pretty sure you'll see them. There was one where he was A-Bing the supersonic and a deluxe. And yeah, I don't know what happened at the end of that. I didn't see him purchase any of those. I think he usually plays through a blues deluxe. Or, and I think he might also have a Marshall or something like that. But no, I didn't see that he got a supersonic, so that's interesting. Okay, cool, good for him. I still have my supersonic right there, right over there. Great amp. I did a review and a shootout between the supersonic and the deluxe as well. I did that just a while ago. They're both great amps. And I'm not knocking a deluxe. I really had a desire to get a deluxe for a long time. And I was debating whether or not I would go the deluxe route or the Princeton route, because for home, you don't really need that much power. I mean, the deluxe is pretty powerful in terms of an amp. It's loud. And if you want to get into the sweet spot at home, it tends to be a little bit too loud, but it's great for playing live. And I A-B'd the supersonic and the deluxe just to see how much of a difference there actually was and which one I would prefer. And in that video, I kind of just left the settings on both of those amps kind of generic. I didn't really dial them in. I wanted it to be a fair comparison in terms of tone, tonal balance and stuff. So I didn't really dial in either one, you know, 100% to its sweet spot. And because of that, I think in the video, the deluxe actually sounded a little bit better. But as I mentioned, the supersonic wasn't really dialed in the way it should have been. To me, the supersonic is a great amp. They're both great amps. I'd be happy with either one. But the supersonic definitely has a little bit more flexibility in terms of live playing with the effects loop, the 2 channels, the burn channel, you know, the gain and all that. Still has a really nice reverb. And I had changed out the speaker in the supersonic for something else, And when I did the comparison, I put back the stock speaker, which I find is a little bit lacking in the Supersonic. And if you put in a really nice speaker in that amplifier, it shines. So it's definitely a great overall amp in my opinion. So I kept it. And I still have it. I was very tempted by the Princeton. Very tempted. It's a really nice sounding amp. Unfortunately, I didn't go for it because why? The cleans are good. I can get very similar cleans to that amp with the Supersonic. Princeton is a little bit more like lush and clean for sure. I wasn't sure if the Supersonic would have had enough bottom end because I do like to play with pedals, and the Supersonic did not have a reverb. What do you call it? An effects loop, which I really like, and so I kind of said, well, I'll wait. What everybody. My mom always used to say, if you can't make a decision, don't make a decision. Just wait and give it some time, and I think that's the best advice. So that's what I did. Eventually, who knows? I might actually pick up a Princeton somewhere. Mark says, I have a Jazzmaster pickup in the neck of my Telecaster. How does that sound? Is that a good, do you find that there's a jump in volume, Mark? When you're... That's one of my issues whenever I have like a humbucker single coil, or if I have something that's a little bit too mismatched. I find sometimes when you jump between... It's a little bit too much of a change, and sometimes it doesn't sound as nice or as even, as smooth when you're switching between. So it's always a little bit interesting. Rico says Rico's answering and saying that. Guitar Center last week had a used Alex Epi Les Paul for $1,299. I paid $849 new. Crazy. So that what I mean, the prices are going up that much now on these models, or what's the story? Interesting. Wow. John D says, I like SGs, but I have the neck drop problem. I've sold every one I've bought. Yeah, that's one of the things with SGs, John, right? Everybody knows the neck dive issue because the body is thin. Some of them are a little bit more balanced. Some of them aren't. I guess you have to be lucky. That's why I'm curious to see what the Epiphone, the Inspired by Epiphone line would, hopefully maybe they matched it up a little bit better. Because everybody knows there's that problem, right? So if they fixed it, that would be really cool. All right, let me just scroll down here. And Quicksilver says, the route for the CV Telecaster is for humbuckers, not for P90s. Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. Because I was just going by memory and I don't really remember the size, the proportions. But that's what I feared. I feared that it would only be for humbuckers because the P90 is not exactly the same shape. So Chad, you heard it from Quicksilver, and if Quicksilver has had experiences with that, you got to be careful. You might not be able to put in your P90 after all. Alan says, Anderton sent me a used damaged guitar that was supposed to be new in a sealed box. They are best avoided. Really? Wow, I'm surprised, man. That's sad. I mean, I like watching their videos. I like, the stuff that they're doing. I like Danish Pete, but if they're pulling the old bait and switch, that's not cool, man. That's really not cool. I hope you sent it back. That's the issue with when you're buying these things overseas. Sometimes sending it back is not an option because it's really expensive to do so. So Randy's talking budget pickups here. He's suggesting Artec. Artec makes some really cool pickups. I've tried a few of them myself. They're not bad, except they're not that budget anymore, Randy. I don't know I don't know where you're located, but I've ordered them in Canada, and after you pay like the tax and the shipping and sometimes the duties, they're not that budget anymore. If you're in, I think they're located in Europe. So if you're in Europe, maybe it's still a good buy, but I find that it's getting more expensive. It's almost like they're getting to the price of a used set of good pickups, you know. So I don't know. And Dan says the noise in the pickups give it character. I agree. You know, it's like all the vintage guys never worried about that. All the great like tones we were getting on those recording as kids, you know, they never worried about the noise. Speaking of kids, I gotta tell you guys, I was watching some videos earlier on, and man, I was blown away by these kids that are like really crazy musicians. And I wanted just to point them out in case you haven't seen this. Let me just get the names because I wasn't really I didn't really catch the name. Okay, so there's one YouTuber, well, one young lady that's her where I saw it was under underrated animations, all one word, and this girl is called Yooka, Yoyoka. So if you just type in Yoyoka and Good Times Bad Times, so she's doing a cover of the Led Zeppelin Good Time Bad Time song, like the beautiful playing that John Bonham did on that song. She must be in this video. She must be like 7 years old, just like a little thing behind the drum set. She's killing it. I couldn't believe it. I was watching it. I'm like, holy mackerel, this girl's gonna be a monster when she grows up. And then, of course, I'm stumbling onto other things, and I came across another video of a young boy, and now he's playing a cover of Rush's Subdivisions, and the channel is Caleb, Caleb space H space drummer. And just check him out. Just type in Rush Subdivisions drum cover. He's 7 years old too. And this kid's killing it, man. I'm like, holy mackerel. I don't know where these kids, what they're putting in Wheaties today, but these kids are amazing. Like, they blew me away. I can't believe it. That's like raw talent right there, man. It's like, how do you compete with stuff like that, I'm an old guy, and I'm trying to still brush up my playing after so many years, and these guys are knocking it out of the park at age 7. It's pretty crazy. Lo-Fi Brush Audio says he's heard of this girl. Yeah, just check her out, man. You'll see after the video, after this thing. Don't leave now, guys. Wait till after the show. All right. Oh, she was 8 in that video, Fat Philosopher. Yeah, it's hard to tell because, Asians look younger than they are. And she said, it could be that she was 8. I don't really know her age, but even at 8, it's like, whoa. Like, what the heck? Crazy. Amazing kids out there. It's good to see kids, doing that kind of stuff, that are into music like that, because a lot of kids today, they take the easy route, they sample, they're doing the thing on the computer, but they're not actually like physically playing. They're just like, it's all up here, So Diego wants to know, how do you win? Hey, Diego. All right. Did you subscribe? If you subscribed to the... did you watch the video? Because if you watch the video, you need to subscribe to the channel. That's step 1. You need to like the video. You need to tell us why you want to win. And then you're going to stay tuned right here, because this is where we're going to be picking the video, the winner of that video. So if you haven't done all that stuff, you still have time. But we're going to be doing the draw soon. So hurry up. That goes for anybody else that's already there. That's already ready to see who the winner is. APK 1967 says, a big shout out to my friends, to my German friends in Tomen. Great prices, great service, and delivered from Germany to Ireland in about 5 or 6 days. So we have a big Tomen fan right there. Good. Nice to see that. Rico says the Epi Joe Bonamassa Lazarus is the same. Guitar Center has a used one for $1,249 and are taking reserve orders for $899 new. I don't get that. I don't understand. Explain that to me, please. Why would the used ones be more than the new ones? Are the prices going down? Like, that never happens. I don't understand. I'm confused. Does not compute, Rico. Please explain to me. John says, I have a new Bulgara 80 turbo sound speaker cabinet. I can't sell it because it costs too much to ship if anybody wants it. Pickup only. They can have it free. I have no room for it. Hey man, you heard it here first. John's giving away stuff for free. John, where are you located? We need to know where you're located, and if we want to pick it up for free, give us I don't know, an area code. Give us something. Paul says that his SG doesn't have a neck dive, so I guess it all depends on which model you land on. So maybe you have to kiss a few frogs before you get the right one. And Randy says, always keep the Supersonic. It has everything. That's why I kept it, Randy. I agree with you, buddy. I agree. It's a great guitar. Great guitar. Oh man, it's a great amp. Octopus here says, I have a 1977 Silverface Fender Bassman 70 great amp as well. The Bassmans, I've tried them many times and I've considered them many times, but they're just so darn loud, man. Oh, they're like really, really loud. So I figured I better pass on that. Lately, I haven't really gotten influenced to buy any kind of amp that doesn't have some kind of power drop switch, you know, so it can go from... I'm trying to avoid anything over 50 watts. You know, the 50 watts is my maximum, my tolerance. For home, it doesn't make sense. For live, too. I mean, sometimes it's just too darn loud. But the amps I have here, they're all maxed out at about 50 watts. But they all, except for the Dirty Shirley, have a switch on them where I could bring them down. So the Brunetti has a 5-watt switch. The Black Star I have over here also has a switch to drop it down. The Supersonic does not. And the Marshall Studio Plexi does. But the Dirty Shirley doesn't. You know, so it's like I'm trying to do my best with keeping the sound under control. House of Twang says, Tony, my Supersonic has an effects loop. Yours does not. Yeah, mine does. Yep, it has an effects loop. What I was talking about earlier was that the Princeton doesn't have the effects loop, nor does the Deluxe reverb. That's what I meant. Maybe I stumbled and said the wrong thing there, but that's what I meant. All right, cool. Let me just scroll down here. Steven wants to know, is anybody else playing Reverend guitars? I recently picked up a 6-gun HPP and love it. I often see people mentioning those guitars, Steven. I've tried one a long time ago and it was really nice. I didn't buy it though. But yeah, a lot of people mention those guitars. I'm sure there's plenty of other people that play them. Larry says, I think I was shitting my pants when I was 8 years old. Well, I don't think I was, but I probably was still playing with like race car track sets or something like that at that time. Definitely riding my bike and raising hell. But yeah, definitely not playing my guitar at 8 years old. Unfortunately, I got into it a little bit later. Fat Philosopher says, I once had a 100-watt amp. Stupid choice. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, everybody wants power, right? I had an amazing JCM 800 at one point. The head, it kicked ass, but it was so loud, man. It was just so loud. And, you know, they're fantastic sound. That amp is beautiful. When you play it loud, it just sounds glorious, but just too loud. I'm actually happy Marshall re-released the Studio Series and included the JCM 800, because anybody that wants to have that tone now can definitely get it without killing their neighbors. Paul says that Artec are Korean and have a huge state-of-the-art factory that has made pickups from state-of-the-art and junk for 30 plus years. They make pickups for Duncan. They use mostly USA wire. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they're actually out like OEMing for other brands. Probably like the overseas version, like Duncan designed, is probably made by these companies. That's what usually ends up happening, anyways. Can you suggest an affordable pickups for Epiphone Les Paul that sound like Gibson Burstbuckers? GFS pickups, maybe. Okay. Why do you want Burstbuckers? I had Burstbuckers in my Les Pauls. I took them out. I didn't like them. So, sorry, Ed. Sorry for that. But if you want Burstbuckers, that Burstbucker sound, the GFS line has sort of a few that I've tried that are more along the classic side. But if you get like an overwound classic or something like that, you'll probably be in the ballpark for a Burstbucker. I just felt that Burstbuckers and my Les Paul didn't sound as smooth as I liked them to sound. They sounded a little bit too edgy. You know, a little bit, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to give you the wrong impression, but definitely they did sound a little like they had a little bit more edge and bite to them. They weren't as like, you know, round sounding, classic sounding. I can't describe it. But yeah, the GFS, you can get some decent ones there that are not going to be too expensive. If you're looking for that. APK 1967 says I used to own a 100 watt MOSFET reverb Marshall combo. That thing went up to 12. It was way too loud. Yeah, man. Like I said, even over like even 20 watts is loud. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I don't think you really need to have that much power anymore, anyways, because you know the sound guys, they're gonna be miking your amp on stage anyways if you're playing in a club, and anything that's too loud, you're gonna have to dial it so far back that it's just gonna sound amoebic. You know, so it's better to get something in the 20 to 40 range. And that you can actually get it into the hot spot where it's actually cooking a little bit, and then you know you're in the good zone for sound. Whereas if you have to dial a 100 watt amp or a 50 watt amp down so much, they never sound good when they're that low. Mark says I'm installing a string tree on my Partcaster Telecaster today. Do you line it up under the A tuner, D tuner, or in between? You know what, Mark? I've looked at so many photos of the headstocks. They're all in different places. Even Fender puts them in different places. On this one here, I'll just show you where I have it. It's the button type here. So I kind of go in between the D and the G, right there. Can you see that? That's typically where I end up putting it, right there. Some people put them up a little bit up, like higher up here, but I find it interferes with the logo, right? So unless you don't want to put it over the logo. If your headstock doesn't have a logo, then it doesn't really matter. You can put it here and get more of an angle. But around there, either here or here, between the A and the D, you know, or the D and the G. Anywhere around there usually works. House of Twang says that that Supersonic will deafen you just fine. Yeah, if you play it full blast, definitely will. Yeah, it's loud. It is definitely loud. And Lo-Fi says that I had a PV XXX 120 watt, actually loved the clean channel and effects loop, never could get it loud enough when using distortion. Couldn't get it loud enough? You mean you couldn't get it loud enough because it was too loud, not because it wasn't loud enough, right? That's what I That's how I'm understanding it. Paul says burst buckers are scatter wound, not wax dipped. They can get you can get microphonic ones. They are really inconsistent. So maybe that's the reason why I didn't like mine. You know, I don't know. I usually like pickups that are not wax potted because they just sound more open to me, and I usually like scatter wound pickups also, but not those. If you want really good pickups, man, there's a lot of great people that are making them. If you want somebody that really knows pickups really well, is in the States and can wind whatever you want at a reasonable price, high order pickups, definitely give him a shout. Tell him I sent you, and yeah, he does great stuff. Some of the best, let's say, more affordable pickups that I've tried. Jeff says, new gear this week. Not glamorous, but I got a D'Addario 10-foot American stage guitar cable after Phil McKnight recommended it. What can I say? It works. What's your go-to cable? You know, I don't necessarily have a big preference. I've been using these cables forever. These are the Planet Waves. It's in my guitar right now. Here, let me just turn this off. Planet Waves. This is an actual long. Is there an actual brand? There used to be a brand. Well, it just says Planet Waves. I don't know if there's a particular model here. Nothing crazy. I think the logo fell off on this one. There used to be a Planet Waves logo here. It kind of popped off. I've had this for so long. Works really, really well. I used to buy Whirlwind a long time ago. I think I still have one that's probably at least 30 years old, and it still hasn't died on me. So that's always good. And I have a couple that I've actually made myself. I actually, bought good quality cable, good quality connectors, and made myself. And that one, I like to have them in like fluorescent colors because that way I know it's mine. A lot of times when you're dealing and you're going into an environment where you're, you gotta pack up or set up quickly and get out of there after that quickly. Sometimes, you're looking at the cables and you're like, is this one mine? They all look the same. So I usually get like fluorescent yellow, fluorescent green. A lot of people don't like those colors because they're like, I don't want to have a fluorescent guitar cable, but it's a beautiful way to make sure that nobody walks away with your cable by accident and they haven't disappeared yet. So they work good for me. And if you have good quality cable, you can make them for pretty cheap, But yeah, there's some really good quality cables out there. Some of them even have a lifetime warranty, The ones that I actually wanted to try for a while, I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's these cables that have a kill switch. There's like a little kill switch button on it. So when you pull it out of your guitar, you can actually just press the button. It basically makes it silent. So you don't hear that big, that crazy sound that you hear when you pull out your cable. Kind of like this, you have your cable and you pull it out and you hear stuff like that. Or when you're putting it back in, you hear this. Not pleasant when it's very loud. So this one has a kill switch on it. I forget who makes it. Maybe Planet Waves makes that one too. So if you guys have a wish list going for Valentine's Day, maybe your girlfriend or your wife or whoever your loved one is might be asking you for some Valentine's Day ideas. Maybe go with a cool pedal, a cool cable. One of those, You can never have enough cables. That's what I say. Christian says, I've played my Marshall Lead MOSFET solid state since '86. It's a fantastic amp. Some of those original MOSFET Marshalls were really good. I remember back in the day trying those and wanting them as well. They stood the test of time for sure. They're reliable amplifiers. Dan of New Jersey says Mayer puts his string tree more towards the G than normal Strat, supposedly for string bends. More towards the G. Yeah, it gives you a little bit more room if you wanna grab the string here and do a Jimmy Page thing, right? Like Like when they used to do. I can't do that with that sound. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta go back to dirty now. Let's try this. So when he used to do the older. I usually bend it. I used to go. But I think he does the bend over here too, right? You could just grab the. Here, let me get this out of the way here. Sorry, guys. I might be. If you just, do. It's a cool little effect when you don't have a whammy bar. So yeah, if you want to do stuff like that, it's better to put it a little bit further towards the tip. I love my George Lynch Randall LB103 Lunchbox 100 watts. It has a master volume, so it helps. Yeah, the master volumes are so important when you don't, if you have a one channel amp and you don't have a master volume on it, forget it. It's like, that's why I really love the Dirty Shirley. Dirty Shirley that I have from Friedman has a really, really good master volume. So even at the low settings, the low end, you can still have that really nice full sound. It makes all the difference, let me tell you. All right, guys, should we let's draw a winner before we go any further? You guys want to draw a winner? Yes or no? Give me a thumbs up if you want to draw a winner right now, or do I keep talking? Oh man, I think you guys want me to draw the winner. Okay, I'm gonna need help drawing a winner. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, I want you guys to give me a random number between 1 and 80. So you guys just type in a random number in the chat, all of you guys. Random number between 1 and 80. And what I'm going to do is I'll select 3 numbers, and 3 or 4 numbers, whatever, 4 numbers, and I'll divide them by 4. Whatever that number is going to end up being, we're going to go down the list and we're going to see who the winner is, all right? And hopefully the winner is here, because if the winner's not here, I'm going to someone else. I want it to be fair. I want it to be one of you guys that's here today, all right? All right. So just start putting in your numbers, and I'm gonna pick a couple of random numbers from the list. I'll give you a minute, and while you guys do that, I'll just noodle. Right. Okay, you guys have put in a bunch of numbers, so let me just grab a couple of random numbers. I'm gonna write them down. Got my pen here, pencil. We gotta do a little bit of math here. So let me see. Okay, we're gonna take 56. We're gonna take 32, and we're gonna take I don't know. Let's see. What's the first number that was typed in here? First number. Okay, the first number. Mark 69, really? I knew one of you was going to come up with that number. Okay, 69 it is. All right, let me do the math here. Just give me a second. I'm terrible at math, so I'm going to use my calculator, and it's going to go quicker, and I won't make a mistake. All right, so 56, 32... 69. Okay, the lucky winner is going to be the 52nd on the list. So let me go and look at the comments on the original video, and we're going to see who that winner is. And Give me a second. This is a low tech, guys, so forgive me if it takes a little bit of time, but this is how I do it. Also, I wanted to mention, let me just do this first. Give me 1 second. Okay. Now, I have a winner here, but I don't think they're here today. So let me see. Let me just see before I announce the winner, because we might have to do this again until we find somebody that's actually here. All right. 1 second. Let me just go through the list. Okay, the person, I'm just gonna say it, and then if the person's here, you put up your hand. All right, you just, so the winner, if it's the number that we drew here, is Alan's guitar channel. Now, I don't think Alan's guitar channel is here today. Oh, here, yes you are. Yes you are, indeed you are. I see you here, Alan, buddy. Alan's here. There we go. Alan, you're the winner, man. You're here and you're the winner. Congratulations, dude. So let's hear it for Alan. Alan's guitar channel. Give you a big round of applause. I hope you're still here. You're here. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Alan, congratulations, man. You are the proud owner of this brand new, slightly used by me, just for the reviews and stuff. It's still in mint condition. The MG300, all right? So, Alan, it's not over, dude. You still have to do something, okay? To be able to get this, you have to go to my channel, my website, addictedtogear.com. Write this down. addictedtogear.com. I want you to go into the contact us page. There's a form there. I want you to send a message to me directly saying, you announced me as the winner on your contest, and give me your info. All right, I'm going to contact you. I'm going to make sure that it is indeed you, because there's always scammers that try to pull fast ones. Just give me your info. I'll contact you, or make sure that it is you. I get your address and everything, and I'll send you this wonderful multi-effects unit by the mail, and you'll get it pretty soon. As I mentioned, I've played around with the settings on that as well, so you're going to have some of my settings in there. And I'll also send you a really nice letter of thank you for supporting the channel, all right? And I hope to see you here all the time, Alan. I don't want to see you just here today, you know what I mean? And for the rest of you, don't worry, guys. Don't worry, there's going to be more draws, all right? I promise you, we're going to be giving away more stuff on Addicted to Gear, so don't worry about it. There's going to be plenty of stuff that you guys will be able to win if you keep watching the channel. But you got to subscribe, and you have to watch the videos, because I announce this stuff. You guys have a big advantage, is because you guys are here regularly on Sundays. So you have a pretty good chance of winning, guys. It's not like there's thousands of people that had entered the contest. So definitely you definitely want to be able to get that chance. Paul says, I'm glad he won because he doesn't have nearly enough gear. Come on, Paul. Don't be bitter, man. Don't be bitter. We're gonna do another. We're gonna do another giveaway. Don't worry, man. There's a few things that I have lined up for you guys that's also gonna be raffled off. All right. Quicksilver says, next draw today, the SV200 Plexi. Let's do it. Let's do it. Not today. Not today. Soon, man. Very soon. Down in New Jersey says that's really generous of you. No, man, it's not really. You guys are really great. I have to say the community is really great. You guys have always been very, very nice to me, and you know, a great group of people. And I love to give back to you guys, and we're gonna continue to do that. I mean, that's the whole fun, you know. Like, we want to build that community. We want everybody to be happy. We want it to be a fun hangout. You know, that's the goal of the show, right? So I'm really happy that we did that. We announced the winner. There's still a couple of things I want to say. I mean, we'll keep the show going just a little while longer. Paul says, I think you should have a draw for a Fender pick. Yeah, we could do that. Here, how about this one? It's a medium. Should we draw that? You guys, you kill me, man. You kill me. And Wayne says he pointed to the EVH to give away. Don't be like that, guys. Come on, I want you guys to be happy. Anyways, that's cool. I think it was good. I think everybody, it's exciting. I like giving away stuff. I like winning stuff too. I never win, but I like when it does happen. I don't think I actually won anything substantial ever, but that's just me. That doesn't mean you guys won't. Hey, I want to talk about this. Why not? Let's give Monty a plug, because Monty's a really well, his name is not Monty. So the company is Monty's Guitars. Can you see that? It's not a puck. It's actually a little tin of what they call instrument food. It looks like shoe polish, but it's not. It's not shoe polish. It's a combination of wax and other things. I don't know if they actually mention. Yeah, it contains beeswax. What else? Not sure what else. Maybe just beeswax. I'm not really sure. But really what you do is that you take this and you can put this on your lips. No, I'm kidding. You can put this on your guitar neck, and it basically provides sort of a little wax seal on your necks. There's a couple of things that I usually use to hydrate the necks on my guitars. I'm going to make a video on that, because there's a couple of things that you can do without necessarily spending a lot of money. Yeah, there's great products out there, and this definitely is one of them. I really like these products. But there's also other things that you can do, and I'm going to show you what you can do for not a lot of money. You don't have to always go buy the Dunlop products and all that kind of stuff. We also have the Monty Presso, and there's a reason why I ordered this. Monty Presso is, I'll open it up. It's, again, like shoe polish, but it's not shoe polish. And you see it's a nice dark concoction. This is geared to darken up your guitar neck. So either the rosewood, fretboard, or even if you have a maple neck that you want to darken up, you can use this. And basically, I don't know if they mention what's in here. They just call it Monty Presso Relic Wax. That's what they call. That's what they say it is. Buff me on, wait 5 minutes to 48 hours, buff me off, and basically you have a darker fretboard. The reason why I got this is because I wanted to darken up the fretboard on the acoustic guitar, on that guy. The fretboard is really nice, but it's a little bit on the light side. So let me show you that. 1 second, guys. All right, here we go. So this guitar, trying not to knock things over. Beautiful, out of tune, of course. It's a little out of tune. Anyways, this is the guitar I picked up a little while ago. As you can see, the fretboard on this is not as dark as you would normally find on a rosewood fretboard, right? Because this is not rosewood. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to darken it up. When I change the strings, because the strings on this guitar are still relatively new, I don't want to just take off the strings, you know, immediately. As they get dull, I will definitely, when I remove this, I will hydrate the neck like I normally always do, and I will put in. I will try these cool products from Monty's Guitars. Okay, try this, and I know it's gonna work. I've seen videos from them doing it, and it really does work, and I don't think it's going to harm the fretboard in any way. You can try different things. There's a couple of products that I normally use also that make it look a lot richer, but I want to give this a shot. So I'm going to wait till the strings kind of die out on me, and then I'm going to do that on this guitar, and I'm going to report back to you guys and just show you how it turned out. Now there's a lot of guitars that are being made today that have the Laurel fretboards, and the Laurel fretboards, some of them are dark, some of them not so much. Sometimes you also get other sort of fretboards that are made out of woods that kind of mimic rosewood but tend to be lighter. I don't have that many guitars like that because I kind of stay away from guitars with lighter fretboards. I just don't like when they're like rosewood color but not dark. So I wanted to try this product on that, and I figured, you know, that would be a nice way of doing that. Paul Faro are really nice wood boards as well. So if you have a guitar like that, some of you might, you can use that. Not expensive, and this thing will last you forever. I mean, honestly, a little dab will do you, right? You don't need more than that. Some people have tried shoe polish. That works too. But in my opinion, if you're going to be using chemicals, like I don't know what they put in shoe polish, I'm pretty sure that the guys over at Monty's are not going to be using anything nasty. It's probably just going to be a combination of oil, wax, and in this case, I think it's coffee. You can actually make your own shoe polish concoction, really, and not have anything bad in there for you. But who the hell wants to do that? I don't have time to do that. But you can use charcoal, you can use special dyes, and really it's just a combination of oil, wax, and I think that's about it, and whatever colorant you want to put in there. So they've already done it for you, so why not just use that and see how well it works out. I'm sure some of you also have some tips. Paul says in the old days it used to be boiled linseed oil, good enough for pricey antiques, no downside. The only thing with linseed oil is it tends to stay sticky. But yeah, you can use that. Anything that's good for furniture is going to be good for your guitar because it's going to be, I mean, it's a wood treatment, right? Except you don't want to be putting this stuff on a finished neck, like a maple neck that has a finish on it, because it won't penetrate the wood. It's really made for open grain. Yeah, Landon says he just uses a Sharpie. Yeah, that works too. Your kids' crayons, maybe, stuff like that. That'll work. Oh man, fluorescent colors, that'll work too. Yeah. So Dan says, Dan and Ed are having a little conversation in here, and he says, Plexi sounds nothing like a JCM 800. I have both, and they have a completely different sound. Pedals will take you somewhere, but all Marshalls have their own distinct tone. I kind of agree with you on that. The JCM 800s to me have more girth. The Plexis are not as dirty as most people think they are. They tend to stay clean quite a bit until you get them really, really loud. And then, but I find the Plexis do make a good pedal platform. We're talking about, somebody had a question on the Origin 20. I gotta go back. Sorry. Okay, let me go back to Ed's question here first. Ed says, Tony, do you think the Marshall 20 watt Plexi can sound like a JCM 800? Okay, here we go with the right pedals. Like I mentioned, yeah, you can get in the ballpark. Will it sound exactly like a JCM 800 unless you have a really good pedal? Probably not. You could get it to, you could EQ it. You can definitely put a good pedal in front of it, and you can EQ it to fatten it up to give you that sound. You'll get close. It all depends on how good your ears are and what kind of equipment you have access to. I think you can get pretty close. That would be a good test if I had an 800 here. That would be a good exercise to do to see whether or not I can get the Plexi to sound like the 800. House of Twang said, Ed, Tony, the Origin 20 does that. So are you saying that the Origin 20 sounds like a JCM 800? House of Twang, is that what you're trying to say? Quicksilver, yes. Monty is UK based. They're in London. In London, yeah. Just going through some of the last comments here. Jeff says best Marshall sound is a Friedman. The Friedman, I gotta say, I love Friedman. I love Friedman amps. They sound fantastic. That's why I went with the Dirty Shirley, because the Dirty Shirley is kind of like, to me, it's kind of like a JCM 45 or a Plexi that's really driving hard. It's almost like the recorded Plexi sound that you like on the records. But, you know, you can't just get that sound in your room with a Plexi. It's just loud, too loud. This will give you that nice chunk, really nice fat sound at low volumes. It's dialed in beautiful. The only thing with that Friedman, or some of the other Friedmans too, is they don't clean up all that much. You're always going to have that dirt in there, even if you try and clean it up with your volume knob, which is okay. I mean, it's the edge of dirt. You can get it into the edge of dirt. Put it into the low gain input and dial back your volume. You can still get it to clean up pretty good, but it's never going to be clean, you know. So John says, I love my Marshall Origin 20. It's 20 watts with a 3-position power switch, great for small to large rooms. You know, the Origin seems to get a bad rap. There's a lot of people that have been dissing the Origins. I don't know. I haven't tried it, so I can't really say for myself. But I think a lot of people are just expecting to get that big Marshall crunch out of an Origin, and then they're disappointed. But I think the Origin would probably make a good pedal platform. Correct me if I'm wrong, John, on that one. Quicksilver says, worst sound for my wallet is a Friedman. Yeah, or a Magnetone. There's actually quite a few, not just Friedman and Magnetone. Actually, there's quite a few other ones that would be pretty bad for my wallet as well. I would say Matchless is one of them. There's a few. Car is another one, definitely bad for my wallet. Divided by 13 is another one that's bad for my wallet. Yeah, when I come to think of it, there's quite a few that are bad for my wallet. So Dave is saying, I love the different sounds out of my AX8 bunch of amps, but not sure if the IRs really hit the mark, but they sound good to me. You know, if we get into the discussion of multi-effects units, Dave, I think it's a give and take. I think really what it boils down to is flexibility over like accuracy of sound. It's going to be hard to get exactly the sound that you want, like to mimic an amp precisely like that. I think you're always going to have to kind of make a compromise. But for me, the flexibility you're getting out of a multi-effects unit way outweighs the fact that the sound might not be 100% dead on. As long as you're in the ballpark, I mean, you can get a pretty convincing sound out of most of these units and it's just like so much flexibility and so much easier to work with in terms of like recording sounds, in terms of just even live venues and whatnot. You can get so much out of it. And let's face it, I mean, yeah, some of these units are not inexpensive, but if you calculate what you're getting in a box like that, you know, even if you're paying $3,000, let's say, for something like that, you're getting so much. I mean, you buy one amp, it's going to cost you these days, you know, you're not rarely going to get a good amp, a decent amp for less than about $1,000, right? So that's one amp. You know, throw in the gear, the pedals, and everything else that you need. You know, and if you want a good dirty sound, a good clean sound, maybe you need 2 amps, maybe you need a couple of amps. It adds up really quick. So, you know, you get yourself a Kemper, you get yourself an Axe FX or something like that, or, you know, there's a lot of really great units out there now. They're getting really good. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty interested in these things all the time because I think they give you a crazy bang for the buck, you know. But I have to say, you know, an amp, let's face it, guys, when you're playing an amp and it's dialed in and, you know, your pant legs are kind of swaying in the breeze of the sound coming out of a 4x12. There's nothing like that, man. You know, it's hard to reproduce the feel. But the sound, you know, when you're in a live situation, a lot of people don't care. As long as you're putting on a good show and everybody's having a good time, I don't think many people care if it sounds exactly like that Marshall. You know what I mean? Blessed Heavy Elements. Nice to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us today. I haven't seen you here before. Must be new. So Larry says, my Helix has all those amps and they sound great. No hate, man. I'm not hating, Larry. Not at all, man. Hey, listen, God has given us great tools. Let's use them. Let's make them sound as good as they can. And with some care and tweaking and dialing in, you can sound really, really good. So House of Twang says, guy in Gravenhurst demonstrated his Origin 20 and a JCM 800 head A beat into a 4x12 and it sounded close enough to me. Interesting. A lot of the reviews I've seen on the Origin haven't they didn't have it dialed in like that. So I don't know. I gotta try and track down this demo out of curiosity. I gotta see. I'd love to take a look at it. Paul's giving us some advice. He says Pedal Pal FX is a perfect JCM 800 pedal. I've had 2 Plexis and a JCM 800. You can get a Plexi to sound 800, but not an 800 to sound Plexi. That is true. Yeah, it's inherent to the, like I said, the girth of the sound. The JCM 800 definitely sounds fatter, in my opinion, compared to a Plexi, and you can't really dial that out. I don't think a JCM cleans up the same way. The dynamics on a JCM are not the same as a Plexi. So even if you try and clean it up to try and get that sort of clean foundation that a Plexi gives you, it won't be the same sound. So I totally agree with you. Yeah, and there's a lot of companies that make beautiful 800 style pedals, JCM 800 style pedals. We're getting a heart for Car from House of Twang. And John D says, I love it. One of the best amps I've ever bought. Sold all of my other Marshalls. And Presley Guitar California Custom says, getting killer tones from my 10-watt solid-state Gorilla. I remember those amps. Weren't Gorilla amps made by Crate at one point? Am I mistaken? I think I'm mistaken. It's been a long time, so I really couldn't remember. But I think it's been quite a while. But I kind of remember them being made by Gorilla for some reason. Quicksilver says a great pedal platform was actually the Joyo Blue Jay. I'm waiting for the Tweety to be available locally. Joyo's still putting out some pretty cool, interesting new pedals out there, I gotta say. I'm always interested in trying new ones from them as well because they're so inexpensive. Sometimes you're surprised, they're just like really good cheap pedals, and when they break, they're disposable. Dan Smith says nothing like that feeling in your pants. I agree. It's all about the vibrations, Dan. Alan says, Alan's guitar channel says, I bought the Joyo Zombie LX and I was really surprised at how good it is for the size and the price. I haven't tried the Zombie. Just too many pedals to try them all, man. I'm trying to get as many pedals as I can to try and stuff, but it's really a pain to have to like sell stuff if you don't like them after. So I try and hone in on the ones that I think I'm going to keep, and I always tend to gravitate towards the dirt boxes, which is, it's fun, but at the same time, like, do you need 20 different distortion pedals or overdrive pedals? At a certain point, they all start kind of sounding very similar. But I still like trying them out. Tony, when selling guitar, to get the most cash, put it back to stock specs or sell it with the modded parts? ? Good question, Larry. I like that question. All right, here's my take on that, and you guys can chime in. It depends on what guitar you're selling, okay? A lot of people will appreciate an upgrade on a guitar that's like, for example, a Squier Classic Vibe. Like if you put in some good quality pickups in a Squier Classic Vibe, for example, or Telecaster or something like that, they generally appreciate the upgrade. Now, if the upgrade that you're putting into the guitar is substantially more expensive, say you're putting in a $300 set of pickups in a Squier Classic Vibe, you can't really expect to sell the guitar for that much more money. Like, you're not going to really recuperate your investment, I think, because there's sort of a psychological limit to what somebody's willing to pay for something like that. On the other hand, if your upgrade is a decent upgrade, I would say, let's say you put in a good set of, let's say you have a Classic Vibe and you put in a set of Fender American pickups, for example, you can still sell the guitar for a little bit more money. You could probably recuperate what you put in there for your pickups at least. But in my experience, if you're selling more expensive gear, like for example, if you're selling a Fender American reissue Telecaster, if you're selling a Suhr guitar, a Gibson Les Paul, things like that, people generally like to have them in mint condition. So I would normally keep the parts. What I like to do is I put the parts in a plastic bag, a Ziploc or something like that, and I keep them. And if ever I want to sell the guitars, I return them to stock. And I think generally people are okay with that. If you start swapping out pickups and stuff, yeah, you might appreciate the pickups yourself because that's the sound that you're looking for, but they might not. They might want to have the original and have a guitar that hasn't been molested, So that's what I would do. That's my advice, So give me your opinion on that if you think I'm wrong or right, but that's the experience I've had with the gear that I've been selling. Yeah, the Joyo stuff is not a pedal, but a lunchbox sized amp. Yeah, I've seen those. A friend of mine actually bought them too. They had, I forget what one was called, I think Purple Sound or something, which was like a Hendrix version, and they had like 3 or 4 different ones. Yeah, they're interesting little boxes. They're interesting because you can, they're not too much money. It doesn't cost a lot of money to buy those, and you can get a good, let's say, sound for home use. Christian says, I played live with the HX Stomp in the last time instead of a real amp, but I'm always tweaking. I think about getting a blue guitar amp, 1 Mercury, because it's more amp like the... Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Christian. I agree. The disadvantage with multi-effects units is you're always tweaking, especially if you don't have a flat response speaker. I think I was doing that often when I was dealing with my multi-effects units until I got an FR speaker. And that changed everything for me, because the sounds that I program in my units, I program while I'm listening to it through the FR speaker. And once I have it dialed in, it doesn't change. That FR speaker will come with me if I'm playing a gig where I want to actually have go through a multi-effects unit. I will go through the FR speaker, so the sound does not change. If you're taking the multi-effects unit and you're bringing it to another location and you're playing through PA or something like that, it's never going to be the same, and you're always going to be tweaking it. So that's my advice. Invest in an FR speaker. You're going to have a better time. It's going to be a lot easier, a lot more consistent. Larry's getting out the soldering iron. He's getting ready. Okay, guys, I've been yapping for an hour and a half, and I'm gonna have to go. I got lots of other things that I need to do, including making a video review on a guitar that I have. That's gonna be a surprise for you guys, and I want to finish that today and put it up. So I'm trying to get that done. So I think we had a really good show. I really appreciated you guys tuning in. Again, congratulations to the grand prize winner. Don't forget to contact me so I can get that out to you as quickly as I can. And guys, stay tuned, because there will be more draws on this channel, and we will be back next Sunday for some more gear chat. All right, guys, so I'm giving you guys a big thumbs up. Thank you for tuning in to Addicted to Gear. Guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones. If you don't do it, nobody else will. And stay safe. We'll be back next Sunday for more. All right, guys? Take care.